Welcome to Your Bookkeeping Matters. I'm Lisa Turner, bringing you short and snackable weekly episodes on bookkeeping and business matters in an easy to understand way so you can be in control and confident that you know your bookkeeping matters. Let's dive into this week's episode. Welcome to another episode of Your Bookkeeping Matters. I have a super juicy episode today talking about another bookkeeping matter that is really close to my heart, my digital course, Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint. You might have heard me talk about Power in Numbers before, which is an old name because it recently had a huge makeover and refresh and is now Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint. The same core content but refreshed and some new inclusions which I am really excited about. But today, I'm chatting with a beautiful guest who has been through the course already and wanted to share her experience and transformation about how she's no longer frustrated with finances and overwhelmed, and the processes and her mindset now that she has done the training and is really confident with her cash flow. And that guest today is my friend Belinda Hindmarsh. Her small business is coincidentally also about transformations, but personal ones. Belinda is a head cheerleader, puns totally intended. Check the show notes if you're not sure what I mean there, because she loves helping females with their mindset to get fun back in their life without fear or judgment. Let's jump straight in to learn Belinda's favourite parts and takeaways that she found important in her small business journey that removed the frustration and overwhelm to now being super confident with her business finances. Welcome to the show, Belinda.
Oh, thank you for having me, Lise. I'm so excited to be here.
So am I. I'm really excited to chat to you because, as I mentioned back in the intro, we're going to be having a really exciting chat today about our adventure together while you did my digital course, Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint, previously known as Power in Numbers. It feels really exciting to say that. As we're recording today, I haven't actually announced that new name. I'm going to dive straight in and ask you the really obvious question. Why did you join my course?
I just wanted to dive in when I saw how easy it was that you made complex things seem. So you really have this amazing ability to break complex things down and make them simple. And that was really the clincher. That was what made it so easy to just go, this is a no-brainer. I have to do this.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that because I love teaching and I love making things easy to understand. So I'm glad that's what helped you dive in and join, knowing that some potentially really tricky topics were going to be made easier for you to understand and be on top of them for your small business, because that's what this course is all about. I want to make things easier for you in the early days so you know what to do and it's not so overwhelming. In terms of what you were hoping to learn, what were the reasons you were joining the course for?
I was interested to learn more around the different types of businesses like partnerships or sole trader and those sort of things, as well as ABNs and if and when you need to register for GST. That was a really big thing that was on my mind. You broke down the options and you made it really easy to understand and it spelled it out instead of having to go to 1,700 different web pages to find that information myself and get overwhelmed by choice. You just made it one completely simple location to find all of this information. And not only that, you stepped us through the process as well. So, yeah, so grateful.
I'm really glad to hear that because it can be so overwhelming when you Google, when do I need to register for GST? And so many sources out there, you don't know which ones are right, which ones are accurate, how to interpret them, like you said, because sometimes you end up on something like the ATO website and it's really hard to interpret what they're actually trying to say to you when to do things. So I'm glad you found those things inside the course that you were looking for, because that's all the things that you need to do when you start out. So that's why I wanted to include all those things, when you need to get an ABN, when you needed to register, what the different structures are, and answer your questions in our live sessions together to make sure nothing is left unanswered. And if you can't join a live session, that we have the Facebook group that you can ask those questions along the way to make sure you're learning what you came there to learn. I'm wondering though, thinking back to before you jumped into the course, did you have any hesitations come up thinking this might not be for me, this is not the right time, anything like that popping up for you when you were thinking about it?
Now that you say that, there was maybe like a tiny amount of hesitation in me going, do I wait until a little bit later, like wait until I've gotten the ball rolling and things? But then I thought, you know what better time to do it when you're starting out? Let's start right instead of starting and then having to fix or backtrack. I've done all of this stuff and now I've got to redo it because I did it the wrong way. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I'm not one who has a lot of time to play with, so making the most of the time that I have available is definitely top priority for me. So yeah, in order to break down hard things, make them simple, and then have a track to run on from the beginning was really, really important to me. And that was definitely a load off. It was like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now, which is completely nuts, but cool at the same time.
That's really amazing. And that's a really valid point that you've made there, that people might think it's too early for them and to do these things later. But that's precisely why it's a good idea to do it now. Set yourself up for success. Do it the right way the first time so you don't have to change things or miss doing things that you should have done. So that's a really good, well, while it's not a good hesitation, it's a great one for you to bring up to be able to explain that and show how you felt that it was actually the right thing to do to dive in so early in your business, because that's what it's about. I want to make sure everyone knows what they need to know. Because how do you know if you are not a bookkeeper or in the industry? You didn't start your business to go and do these things. So to have that guidance there for you is really important to me. What did it feel like doing the work?
It was just so easy. It was truly, you just made it so easy. Showing up to discuss the content that we needed to listen to during the week and any questions that came up around it, because you would have an opportunity to work on it, trial it before addressing it in the live chats. And then if you still had questions, you were able to bounce back into the group. Is anyone having this problem, or is it just me, or I've got this particular type of business? Has anyone got a similar experience? You were able to, just kind of bounce off the others, which is really, really valuable. And good to see that others are on the same page and you're feeling together on a journey instead of it being so overwhelming. So definitely value and rate that process. It was just so easy, really, really easy.
I love that. Because community in any aspect of your business is really important, so that you have some other people to talk to and feel like you're not alone. So I love that you enjoyed that aspect of it, of our little community where you could talk to others, see where they're up to, and not feel so alone on the journey, because small business is a completely different thing than what most people have ever experienced. So to have someone else to talk to and to answer your questions along the way, that's a huge aspect of the course that I really think people really enjoy. And you're giving some great feedback that it was an important part for you. How has the course changed your mindset now that you've finished it around your business finances, how you feel about looking after your business numbers?
There's definitely a lot more confidence in that. I'm really grateful for just it made things a lot more easy and less scary.
That's perfect. And that really clarifies what I hope people find afterwards, that they're confident knowing what they're doing. In terms of beforehand, you might have felt like it was overwhelming, too hard. Any of that resonating with you?
100%. It was definitely a massive shift. So instead of being too scared and going, oh, it's so hard, don't do this, just put it in the too hard basket, the one that you don't address, and then it becomes a massive, bit of a minefield. It's something that you can chip away at as frequently as you have time to be able to address. And at the end of the quarter, end of the year, it's all done because you've made time to do it, because it's easy, instead of it being an overwhelming mess and you just go, oh, look, I'm just going to pay someone else to do it because it's so hard.
I love that. So you're organised for end of financial year and haven't got a year's worth of work to do, and you're confident about knowing that you've covered the things that you need to. Has that helped you grow in a particular way personally or in your business?
Yeah, absolutely. To not have mind space occupied by having to freak out about that, it means that I'm able to concentrate, focus on things that are more important, for sure.
Brilliant. It sounds like you've grown confidence, organisation, more brain space, and they're all super important things for both your personal life and for your business. So I'm really glad they're some of the takeaways for you. Everyone I talk to about this course has a different favourite part. What was your favourite part?
Yeah, the weekly check-ins were definitely a favourite part. So I could ask questions, check where I wanted to, and get other people. There were also questions that came up that other people would address, and I hadn't quite gotten there yet, or, they tackled it a different way simply because of their different perspective, because everyone's got a different perspective. That's what makes life beautiful. But in them learning about that, them addressing it for their business in their way, it kind of highlighted ways that I could potentially do something different in my business. And just the community. Community is huge and awesome, and definitely the most valued part of what I took away from it, for sure.
Amazing. In terms then of what you learned, I think you've already mentioned a couple of these things. What were your key important takeaways that you learned from the course?
The biggest thing was knowing what was an expense and figuring out what column to put the expenses in for your profit and loss, and the difference between a profit and loss and a balance sheet, and those sort of reporting things. That was the biggest thing that kind of just take away that frustration.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad to hear that, because it's really common for business owners to be overwhelmed by the reports and not know what they are or what they mean. So I'm really glad that that was an important area that was covered for you, and you now know what they are. I'm wondering, for anyone that is thinking about doing the course or wondering what it is, how would you describe what Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint is?
Bite-sized chunks that make bookkeeping easy for DIY, as well as getting it in a position and knowing when you can ask for help. And also, I forgot to say, the legal side of things, how you have experts come in to be able to have chats around those side of things that you don't even think about. Like that wasn't even on my radar as something that I would need to address or consider. You brought those to light as well, which was really important for me. So thank you.
You're so welcome. That is something that we haven't spoken about today. I do have special guests come in and talk to you on different business matters that are really important, that are tied to your bookkeeping and making sure things are done the right way to make sure your financials are looked after, and legals is a huge part of that. That's why it's really important. I have that special guest inside the course for you. Well, as we've spoken about, Belle, your business is all about empowering women, and I have no doubt there will be lots listening along wanting to know more about what you do. Where can they connect with you?
I generally hang out on Facebook, so find me on Facebook at Belinda Hindmarsh, and same on, I do have an Instagram account. When I post in one, it goes in the other. So you'll find me either place. Also, I'll hang out in LinkedIn on occasion. So I'd love to connect with anyone who's finding that they are more often than not a firstborn female. They're my specialist category, but the ones that are stuck in the expectation and all of the life shoulds that are thrown at them that they can't find, that they've lost fun. So that's my area of expertise.
Which is a pretty special one. I will link all those places to find you in the show notes so people can easily connect with you. And as well, in the show notes, I'll pop where you can jump on the wait list to be the very first to know when the shiny new doors are open to Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint. And that's accountedforyou.com.au/BMB waitlist. Thank you so much, Belle, for jumping in the studio today to share your thoughts and experiences. I'm absolutely honoured to have had you both in the course and here today. Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, beautiful lady.
Well, that wraps up this short and snackable episode of Your Bookkeeping Matters. I hope you had loads of fun listening along, and if you're enjoying the show and haven't yet left a review, I would absolutely love you to. I can't wait to chat more bookkeeping matters with you next week.